Hello there, my darlings. This is going to be a little different. I have a notebook in front of me and I want to share a few things, that I pretty much have known through the years, but I think are very, very relevant to this particular reading and Miss Erika Kirk. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone. I am Lady Zelda with True Oracle. Today is Wednesday, November 19th of 2025. And we've been hearing a lot of things coming out. Now, first of all, it's been verified that there has been a plane from the country of pyramids, I'm going to say it that way, that has been tracking Erika Kirk in upwards of 73 times. Now, we have to ask ourselves, why Egypt? Because there was this, and I just said it. Okay. So there was this particular plane that was noticed September 10th, the event with Charlie Kirk. And there are 4 cars that seemingly were related to the occupants of that plane. And in fact, there might have been those same automobiles from those same occupants in a parking lot following Tyler Robinson. But let's back up. So why possibly were they following Erika and most likely Charlie? But why Erika? So why would the land of pyramids care? So I want to get into this hypothetical scenario. I'm going to say it that way, so you can basically all understand. And I'm a visual person, and I'm just going to kind of sort of write this out for you, if you don't mind, because I think it's really important, and we need to know this, okay? So the land of the pyramids, we know who that is, right? The land of the pyramids, that's a pyramid. Pays attention to Middle Eastern evangelical influence. And I'm going to put up here Mid-East. What else? Oh, I don't know. Possibly American political. I mean, it's hitting the spot right now already, right? Political, if I can spell it, political. Don't, you know what? Do we even write anymore? That's why I struggle with these things. Humanitarian. Networks. So now we have 2 answers to 2 questions. We're not done. We're not done. You're going to love this one. Israel. Why did I dot that? I don't know. But that's probably good. Israel related voices. Right? So let's just say this. Israel related voices. I know, bear with me. Anyone in proximity to major U.S. conservative rising figures. So USA conservative rising figures. People who are out there trying to make a difference. People who have all these things possibly in mind, hypothetically, sort of, kind of, maybe, right? You get it. Now, what does Erika have? I mean, obviously, Charlie fits all of these. But why Erika? Why Erika? Well, let's figure that out. Let's go over here to this page. So we're going to write here, why Erika, and I'll try not to write so fast so I mess it up. Why Erika? Well, Erika, international there. I did. Look at that. Travel. She has international travel. She has diplomatic connections. We can call them dips, right? Okay. Diplomatic connections. What else does she have? A faith-based global influence. And then last but not least, she has links to Charlie, wanting to know what he's doing, where he's going. So what does all this mean? What does it all mean for Erika? Why do they care? Well, you know what? She would be considered a soft node. Now, what is a node? A node is a person who connects multiple circles, and she has connected everything. Faith, media, political, humanitarian. You don't just watch the leader, you watch the bridge. So Erika, here's Erika, had this little bridge to Charlie. That's called node tracking, my darling. It is node tracking. You follow the one that reveals everyone else. Now that's really something, isn't it? A node. Erika the node. Now, hypothetically, right? I mean, I don't know this, but typically that's what happens. So, in this land of the pyramids that has the airplanes that have tracked her 73 times, plus that in any nation, I'm just going to say that, and or any nation wants to understand certain conservative networks. Could that be TP USA? Ask yourself those questions. So they wouldn't just follow Charlie. They'd follow someone close to him who freely moves. Someone who acts as a connective tissue. Someone like Erika. Node tracking isn't about the person. It's about the ecosystem that they reveal. That's amazing, isn't it? Now, this brings me to the question. Why are some nodes tracked more than others? 73 is a pattern. That's not surveillance, my darlings. It's profiling. Think about that. And here's why this type of supposedly, allegedly type of node will get this level of attention. Sometimes some of those agencies who want to be intelligent flag people when they cross paths with high value individuals, or they repeatedly appear at international events. Now that's Charlie, but that's also Erika. They attend conferences tied to what? Middle Eastern policy. Erika has that pattern without even trying. She's a soft-spoken, technically soft-spoken, non-threatening connector, which is an ideal situation to be a soft node. You see, quiet people make the best nodes. Charlie, as we know, wasn't that quiet. Erika, compared to Charlie, was much more quiet. She's not controversial like Charlie. She's not political. She's not, well, she is, sort of, kind of, but she's not the political fire like Kirk's ecosystem of TPUSA. She's moderate. She comes across as humanitarian, and she comes across as faith-centered. That makes her perfect for mapping influence flows. There's so much to this, my darling. So she would be considered a node that has diplomatic echoes. She has ties to global ministries, ties to international speakers, ties to political spouses. Who did we see at Charlie Kirk's arrival from a plane? And who was with her? Ties to Mideastern aid agencies and ties to charitable missions. This crosses, hold on. I got to be visual here. This crosses, my darlings, multiple high interest categories. Because that land of the pyramid, that's him right there. I need a few palm trees and a sphinx, don't I? Because the land of the pyramids monitor these categories routinely because of, here we are, Israel relations, Christian minority politics, U.S. evangelical, anyone who's got an influence in that, and women's empowerment networks. Yes, that's real. So she checks off every box to be that node. See, Charlie, no matter what anyone thinks of him, okay? Because I know there's a lot that have different ideas. It's not about that. And this isn't about politics. This is about why on earth is all of this happening? Because there's so much more deeper things that are happening. And we can see that through the texts of the last few days that Charlie sent out and conversations about donors, internal money. And yeah, that's a thing now with IRS. That's another video. So you see, Charlie, became what intelligence services, or those services who want to be intelligent, call a signal person. That is that public person who creates predictable waves in media, political, reactive, narrative, influential. So see, when you track somebody like this, like these two, standing next to and we're just going to say mainly for Erika, when she's standing next to the signal person, you get more accurate readings of a true influence map. Erika is the next to the radar. Erika is not on the radar. She's next to it. And you know why? I'll tell you why. It makes it safer to track her. So let's hypothetically ask this. If Erika is the node, and this land of the pyramids is plane patterns are true of 73 times, then the entity doing this is not watching the public. They are watching the connective tissue. That means they're mapping a network. Mapping a network. Networks mean influence. Influence means reach. And reach means power. We can go deeper with this. I don't know if we really even need to. But when we think about this, the wild and especially the ancient watcher of the crossroads type concept that comes along with the land of the pyramids, this whole hypothesis that Erika is not the true subject but an echo node, meaning they are tracking someone else through her. So who are they really tracking? Who? It can go much, much deeper. Now, when you think about why 73 patterns, well, you can elevate this to a bridge node is a rare type of node because they connect multiple networks that normally never overlap. But with Erika, she's overlapping all of these subjects. This is really something, my darlings. And at this point, I invite you to be watchmen. Watch where she goes, if she goes, where she goes, and especially who she keeps company with, because she's certainly been vocal about these people. So Erika now is becoming the reflection, not the origin point. And that opens up a door to speculation without making any claims whatsoever. But I'm just going to tell you this. I'm going to leave you with this narrative, and I want you to think about this. I'm going to add a couple of cards, and we're going to see how we really feel about things. But these people who live in the land of the pyramids wouldn't track Erika because she's just Erika. They would track her because she sits on the crossroads of several powerful networks. That points to her being a node, possibly even this bridge node, possibly a soft node. And sometimes a node is followed not for who they are, but because they reflect someone else's movements. That's an echo node. So, my darlings, in the land of the pyramids, ancient or modern, whichever way you want to look at it, they have always watched the crossroads. And this ties every thread together without contradiction. It's amazing, isn't it? So I'm going to take this one more level before I get out a few cards. 73, 7 plus 3 is 10. We'd reduce the 10 down to 1, and it points to a brand new pathway. It points to a brand new beginning. The number 1, and especially heading toward the year 2026, 2026 adds up to 10 as well. And then the 1. We're going to see a lot more activity like this, my darlings. Watch and see. But is this true? We have to watch. Be watchmen. Now, stay tuned. I'm going to get out a few cards. Here we are back again, and I want to thank you for your patience in my writing. I'll tell you what, who writes anymore, right? But I'm doing the best that I can, and thank you so much for that. So I have some cards here. I just want to lay out some cards and see exactly what direction we're going. I have the fire element of the Cartomancy. I have the tarot deck that is small because we always need a lot of room. And I'm introducing today, this is the first video that I'm making with this. This is the House of Zelda, Crime and Shadow. You know how many times I say, gee, I wish I had a deck of cards that went a little deeper for these particular readings? Well, now I just ended up having to make them. And no, they're unfortunately not for sale for some, but I'm just going to see how these work today. And I have shuffled all of the cards, but I'm going to give them another little turn. In fact, I'll put these over here. And we're going to start with the crime and shadow first. We're asking for some insight on this whole situation with the plane 73 times. Why Erika? We have our first one out, and I'll explain the cards. I'll explain them to you. At the bottom of the deck, my darlings, we have this card. All right. Now, here we go. Yeah, they're a little darker, aren't they? But, you know, in situations like this, it calls. Look at this. Crime and shadow. Someone who has worked so hard on something and they're being watched. You never know who's watching. It can be actually even energy spirit is watching. It can be that late night putting things together. And you know how that time is where you just kind of sort of feel like somebody's watching? Well, that's it. Somebody is watching, and we are watching diligently. And now we come to this beautiful raven whom I call Poe. Poe is sitting on a book, actually several books. He's got one open and lit by this beautiful candlelight. He's surrounded by information, but he's putting some light on this situation. Because the one thing about ravens is they can become very loyal. And when you dig deep, well, that's all a part of it. But why the books? Well, there's much more to discover. As we get into this case and we work through this, there's so much more to discover. But now we have a situation where someone is no longer with us. And it becomes this gruesome part of the tale at that midnight moon-filled hour that we have to sit and contemplate the whys. And why was this made public? Why was Charlie chosen? You know, it doesn't matter how you feel about him in my book. I have my opinion, but it's my opinion and you're allowed yours. But that should never have happened. It should not ever happen to anyone. That, based through these cards, was an exhibition. And here we have the crime scene. Now, these people from the land of pyramids were there at the crime scene. They were there at the scene. I'm going to say the scene of the crime. They were there when it happened. What were they looking for? Were they tracking and mapping? You can see that things are in disarray. They certainly are. It's time to shed some light on this. But it all points back to that crime scene. And we all know what happened to the crime scene. I mean, within, it seemed like minutes of this situation happening. Last but not least, my darlings, we have Poe once again. And a little kitty there, very intuitive, opening the door to perhaps the cosmic unknown. Opening the door to this time in which we don't know what's beyond yet, but we're here for it. And this tells me there's so much more to come, and that we have to patiently wait for more information to come out. Let's draw one more card. Let's see exactly what it is. Yeah, well, you know, when I first make the cards, they are a little stiff, but they'll break in just like the other deck I have. What is this one? How this situation can be bleak and dismal, and definitely surrounded by the death of Charlie, which makes Erika more of that person that possibly sort of kind of would fit into that realm that we talked about, the node. Let's see. Let's get a few. So thank you for allowing me to debut the cards. I'm sure that they will work very beautifully going forward. I'm certain using them more and more. But the pieces of this puzzle is and will start coming together thanks to Candace Owens. On the bottom of the deck, moving on. But things will start going from choppy waters into much calmer seas. But look at the King of Pentacles. And this tells me right now, follow the money. Because there's a lot of questions coming up about this money. And it seems as though there was an audit. And I believe $70 million was raised. It's my understanding that, now I could be wrong, plus, minus, whatever, but it was my understanding that $70 million has been raised since September 10th and moved into an endowment. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not going to advise against that, but there's something sus. And I believe it's time for Erika to now answer for some things, because I believe there were some sign-offs that could have been suspicious. I don't know. But now, as the acting CEO, this falls on her shoulders. And I want you to know this. If something would go down, for some things, it's my understanding that has happened. I don't know. I've heard that people go to jail for messing up, possibly intentionally, with the IRS. Now, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. But could whomever be setting up Erika as well? I mean, for me, I still maintain my opinion of Charlie being double-crossed. Could the same be happening to Erika? There's some regret, possibly, of choices. And maybe not even regret, but some intensity of concern if this energy has made the right choice. And I believe Erika may be feeling that right now. Has she made the right choices? She came out very, very boldly, very quickly, for whatever reason. And again, my opinion may not be fact, but I quite felt that it was odd. This is a fire element, my darlings, and the fire element means open doors and growth. So let's ask the question, did Erika do a lot of things in the name of growth? Opening doors? Wait, where's our door opener here? Opening doors, here we are. Could it be opening doors? Maybe even opening a door that should not have been opened? Here is the Knight of Swords. This Knight of Swords, sword in the air, double-edged, can cut both ways, and going off the frame of the card, racing into this, and look, it's just racing into this reading, tells me that we're certainly not done. Oh, there's so much more to know, and they're certainly not done. And look, he is riding against the wind. So are many of us who have a particular opinion riding against the wind? I believe so. Perhaps even bucking the narrative. Let's get out just a couple of cards with the Cartomancy and see where we come with this today. Let me know in the comments. Do you like this sort of thing where I show you on paper what I'm feeling and then reading? If you do, I'd appreciate it if you let me know. And I appreciate all of your comments. I just want you to know that. And I do read as many as I can. I wish I could respond to each and every one of you. And here we go. This is telling me that the Eight of Diamonds is all about, I want to say, in the holiday mode. This idea of making change, changing moves, jobs, changing, change. That's what this comes up with. But you know, the diamonds are all about communication as well, and sometimes legal. I'm sure they have a more than one legal advisor that's advising them what's going on. But there is a man here that is coming out very hard. There's this man who's basically saying, oh, look, I'm going to be just kind of taken over. You'll know it. You'll know it. And the fact that all of these things about this land of the pyramids tracking evangelical influences, I wonder if that could, we had a pastor, priest, rabbi type card coming out, preacher. I'll let you be the judge. This Six of Diamonds is all about paperwork, telephone calls, business. This is all TPUSA. It's all about examinations, audits, examining books, examining lifestyles even, and could it possibly even be node examinations? There's an uncertainty financially happening. And quite frankly, I think that TPSU is in trouble. And it was in trouble when Charlie was alive because it seemed as though he was starting to lose control, and it was not his fault. I believe people wanted it because they saw the influence that Charlie had in this group for whatever reason. But you know, power is infective. And people love the idea of having power within some type of organization. It doesn't matter what it is, but what they want to do with that power does matter. This Four of Spades now is going to be a time where they're going to have difficulty getting their points across, because at this point, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter where they go, every time TPSU tries to post something to counteract the negativity that's out there, doesn't really seem like it helps, because they've lost the trust. They've lost the trust of the public. They're having this frustration now, and it's falling on this person. This, last but not least, I think matches this card most of all. This card can actually emulate, resonate to the Death card and the Tarot, but it depends on the surrounding cards as to how you read this. But this card, this Ace of Spades, definitely has a two meaning. It can be a timing card for winter, which, well, we're about a month and a half away. It can also mean loss, which there was loss September 10th. It can also mean legal issues. and it can mean very derogative, negative type things, but it can especially mean the death card. Now, I'm not predicting anything. I'm just saying that this probably is a confirmation of what has happened. Tell me what you think. Sometimes you just can't voice too much, but in this particular case, I just think that there's so much suspicious with everything, and now all of the tracking and all of this going on. Oh, this is much bigger than just a little issue with donors. And I also think possibly a reason that we're not being told is because there is such a huge influence that is happening here. Because, as much as we want the government and other entities to fess up and say, look, we need to be told, we want the truth, sometimes the truth may not be a good thing. And I'm talking about security issues, possibly. This card over here, I'm not going to forget. This is all about general concerns, general worries, but also cautious and curbing imaginations. And that's why I really want to dig down and deep into these things and let you know that as much as I can, I don't want to read on the fluff. I mean, the truth is enough, right? Without the fluff. But there's a general concern, definitely, over what's happening at Turning Point. So my darlings, do me a favor, like and subscribe. I love that you're here. Thank you. I'm sorry that it's a little longer today, but I wanted to write that out. I was excited to get it to you. Thank you for being here. Please do me a favor, like, subscribe, do all those Tubi things that they like, and I will bring more to you. And thanks again. I will see you again very, very soon. Bye for now.